7 years old, the Jackson 5 at Madison Square Garden. I saw that show. I remember going, my father didn't tell me who we were going to see. And I remember going into the arena. Aretha Franklin came and sat by us. All these cameras were going on, and it was just this crazy scene. That's how I remember it, being very small, lots of flash bulbs going off, and the lights went out and they came on. It was electrifying. People tend to forget how amazing the musicianship was, and of course, how dynamic Michael was as a child. It was so funky and so soulful. When I saw that performance, it blew my head off, and I knew after that, that was it. I wanted to make music. The first instrument that I fell in love with was a Fender Stratocaster. I had the Fender catalog. And this is when catalogs were beautiful, man. They were like these beautiful books, you know. And somehow I had a Fender catalog. And I remember sitting in Brooklyn at my grandmother's house, and I would just sit in the bed and just look at this thing for hours, every one. I wanted one so badly. The first guitar that I was given by my parents was a Yamaha acoustic guitar that had a pickup in it. It had 2 knobs on the body. I wanted an electric, but we lived in this little apartment, so my parents got me the acoustic with the pickup. I'm not sure how happy I was about that. I was appreciative to get the guitar, but I was like, man, come on now. This is not out of the Fender catalog, you know? But that was the first guitar, and that got a lot of use. Then my very first electric guitar was actually bought at Guitar Center in Los Angeles on Vista, the original Guitar Center, the small one. And that was a Fender Jazzmaster. So I was getting closer. That feeling you get on stage when you make that connection with the audience is why you do it. Just as much as they come to see me, I'm there to see them. I'm there to have an experience. It's all about this energy that gets passed back and forth. You give, they receive, they give you more back. You get that, you get nourished off of that, you give more. It becomes this cycle and it snowballs. There's no better high than having that feeling on stage and feeling that spirit, that electricity in the room. That's the ultimate high for me. And that's why I go out and play live and continue to do that. Playing and creating music makes me feel alive. It's my most fluid way of communicating. I know how to communicate through music probably better than I do through speaking. And it's so natural, you don't have to think about it. It's something that just comes from your spirit. It's life for me, it's life. Life and communication, man. It feeds me and enables me to get things out in a healthy way. When you're in a moment and you allow the creative spirit to move you, things happen that you didn't anticipate, that you didn't think about, that you weren't necessarily trying to do. A lot of the best moments on my records are so-called mistakes, things that just slipped out. I was like, whoa, what's that, you know? You can't explain it. It's a need. I need to play. Creating this new album was really refreshing for me because it came out of nowhere. I had no idea that I was going to be making a record. In this case, I was shooting a movie. I was doing Catching Fire, the second of the Hunger Games movies. And, you know, I'm waking up at 5, 6 in the morning, these ungodly, ridiculous hours that these actors like to work, you know, working all day into the evening. And then at night, I started hearing this music and I needed to sleep. I was tired, but like this music was just being downloaded. And so, you have two choices: either ignore it or you go for it. So I went for it. I ended up staying awake for 2 weeks with maybe an hour asleep a night, which was useless. And this record just poured out of me, and it was a really great feeling because it really took no effort. It was just about being present and collecting what it is that you were hearing. And then, of course, the work is in producing it to be what it is that you're hearing in your head. I'm hearing things in this record that, I haven't heard in previous records, which is always a wonderful thing because all of my records are quite different from each other. And so, yeah, I'm really inspired by it, and I'm really looking forward to going out and playing it live. I had no idea this was going to happen. I just knew I wanted to be a musician, and whatever that meant, I was willing to do. I think that I sort of envisioned myself playing in clubs, or, being a drummer, or a guitar player, a bass player, a keyboard player. I don't know, playing behind somebody. Like, I never thought of really being the lead cat. I was playing in a band. I had to take over the lead vocals. That's kind of how it started, and then I ended up writing my own material, which turned into Let Love Rule, which is where that whole thing started. I think all I ever wanted to do was just be myself. Just be myself, have my own expression. I feel that I'm doing that, and I'm still on the path. We're not there yet. I'm very blessed to be, to have started young, and I'm 25 years in, and I feel like I'm just warming up. Like, that first 25 was an amazing education and beginning for me, and now the next 25 are going to be something else.